In Dragon Ball FighterZ, you need someone to hold it down. Despite the plethora of choices among the roster that offer extreme flexibility, disgusting mix-ups, and point viability, finding an anchor can be a measured endeavor. Who can you rely on when you're faced with that challenging 1v3? Who do you want in your corner to carry you to victory in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds? While often clutching the dub boils down to your fortitude as a competitor, having a strongman on your team can make all the difference when facing an uphill battle. So when making this list, I made sure to reach out to the community. And by the way, if you want to make your voice heard for future video essays, subscribe here to this channel to gain access to my community tab, and subscribe to me on Twitter, where I throw it to you almost every single day. Now, with the introduction out of the way and over 5,000 of you polled, it's time to count down the top 5 best anchors in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Number 5, Janemba. While certainly overshadowed by the later contenders on this list, Janemba's toolset perfectly aligns him to the position of anchor. Incredible screen control, mix, and the ability to convert off of any stray hit. If this character touches you, you're looking at an easy 48% loss pre-super. To start, his sword-like lariat offers disgusting range with little to no risk, easily covering 7/8 of the screen. This allows Janemba to dominate neutral, slicing through Ki Blast to prevent the opponent's keep-away strategy from taking root. While it will lose outright to a preemptive Kamehameha or Dodon Ray, it will often win on the quick draw in comparison with an excellent 18-frame startup. And due to its ability to combo upon connection, it makes it a premier tool that is the envy of every would-be zoner. Not to be outdone, thanks to the Season 3.5 buffs to Janemba's Hellgate Orb, he can create devastating setups and mix the opponent when cornered easier than ever before. If the opponent chooses to block, they'll be forced to hold the activation, as Janemba is left anywhere between 24 to 33 frames of advantage depending on the meter spent. If it connects raw, Janemba can drain the opponent's life bar like the best of them, making his pressure truly unrelenting. While there are many other factors that bless him with supreme comeback ability, a solid command grab, damaging combo routes, good corner carry, we would be remiss to forget mentioning his projectile reversal, which gives him either 30 frames of advantage upon block or double that amount to convert onto any combo of his choosing upon hit. While a well-tuned Janemba main will rightfully take advantage of his exceptional level 3 corner Oki with teleport mix, even the novice contender will understand why this character shines solo. A fine addition to every team, and the crown jewel to many of his enthusiasts across the fandom. Number 4, Yamcha. Yamcha has steadily gained the moniker of all-reliable among the FighterZ community. While many of us scoffed at his power levels upon announcing that he would be joining the initial roster of the game, after 3 seasons of witnessing comeback after comeback via Dato Doya, JM Crofts, and especially Lord Kazunoko, the first world champion, there's little doubt left to the conversation. While he may have an average damage output, this is negated by the addition of Limit Break ultimate mechanic in the current meta, making any conversion a nightmare for the opponent. And although he received additional recovery frames to his EX Wolfbang Fist, it's important to note that when used in block strings, he remains at a safe -5 frames. And while the nerf inhibits its use in neutral and makes it dangerous upon whiff, a seasoned Yamcha main would avoid using that tactic altogether. Yamcha is all about patience, allowing the opponent to make mistakes and capitalizing on them with either of his dastardly cross-ups or his ability to perform a coveted level 4 super. When in the corner, Yamcha shines even brighter, having among the best Oki post level 3 in the game, even able to go behind the opponent upon wake up for layers of mix. Further, the inclusion of a frame 4 air DP in the form of his EX Gale Claw allows him to turn the tide on incoming super dashes or simply mash happy opponents. And of course, the icing on the cake is his plethora of amazing assist options. His A assist being the most iconic for its lockdown, even coining the strategy Super Dash plus Yamcha for its notoriety. Coupled with the option to choose his beam assist, and you've created a reliable, albeit honest shell for any team you choose. And while there are many other nuances that separate him from the roster that veteran mains of the character will swear by, no matter how brief an overview, any short glimpse will prove that in choosing Yamcha, you've got a solid anchor worthy of the top 5 best in the game. Number 3, Tien Shinhan. Tien's buffs in Season 3.5 has made believers of us all. First, he's in possession of what many consider the best beam in the game, and while the competition is fierce in that category, it's not hard to see the argument. Dodon Ray now has a traveling hitbox, meaning that it can descend with Tien if activated in the air for maximum screen control. Additionally, Tien comes equipped with a very strong overhead option that can't be overlooked. His quarter circle back EX overhead can travel from half the screen away in a moment's notice, and convert into a combo upon vanish, or even more damage if you opt for either his level 2 super or meter dump with his Neo Tri-Beam. This move comes in at a solid 24 frames, the equivalent to the universal 6M overhead, and while many of us might find ourselves opened by the classic forward medium in the corner, reacting to the same frame data from halfway across neutral is an entirely different story. Further, he has a 24 frame command grab as well for half a bar and sports reduced damage to every super thanks to the recent patch. Not to mention, he has access to Chaozu's level 3, easily among the most damaging supers in the game. While using this super may rob him of access to Chaozu's freeze technique, which gives Tien 50 frames of advantage on hit and 31 on block, it's important to note that a wise Tien main will limit using this move altogether, as every third Chaozu call comes with a built-in whiff that leaves him at a staggering negative 83 frames of disadvantage. In all, Tien's bolstered approach to neutral, quite devious offensive game plan, and plethora of solid assist options make choosing him as an anchor an easy decision. Paired with his quite frankly ludicrous damage output, it's high time that this OG Dragon Ball favorite got his due. And now, before we get into our top 2, I'd like to bring up an honorable mention. While choosing characters like GT Goku and Trunks may seem like obvious inclusions, and trust me, I can understand the outcry for their inclusion in today's top 5, I'd like to use this time to highlight an often overlooked and criminally underplayed character, Krillin. At this point, it's fair to say that many of you hold pre-existing biases towards the character, and who can blame you? Since season 1, he's been the proverbial low tier, meme fodder, and serial last pick. But what if I told you those days are long gone? Besides his inclusion on the teams of other popular YouTubers, Krillin is a completely different beast in season 3.5 and potentially one of the best anchors in the game. While this is a hard sell, allow me to explain. Krillin is in possession of a similar mechanic to Dodonray, albeit even better, as it's able to move freely around the screen while taking advantage of its beam priority even after startup. Additionally, his Ki Blast harbors unique mechanics that can not only extend combos, but provide visual mix for spatial control. Yet, on the topic of screen control, his EX Rock is a complete powerhouse, now boasting the ability to stop Super Dash in its tracks from 2 distinct angles, as well as making Krillin plus 16 on block and giving him 40 frames of advantage to convert upon hit. Further, his ability to restore blue health with a Senzu Bean cannot be overlooked, granting him significant comeback potential over the majority of the roster. And while his normals may seem stubby upon first glance, they've been buffed significantly since the start of Season 3 and into Season 3.5, mirroring Nappa in levels of reach. His ability to access plus frames, 1 to 3 depending on the meter spent for his after image, becomes exceptionally strong, particularly if the opponent is conditioned to block the overhead and falls prey to his Fate option and becomes the victim of a stiff 2-whim starter. On the topics of supers, he boasts Forbidden Oki off of his level 3 when paired with certain characters, not to mention his stellar corner Oki solo, where he is guaranteed to mix any opponent who doubts his ability. With the possibility of meter dumping 5 Destructo Discs, coupled with the plethora of insane assist options he gives your team, Krillin mains not only have an argument to include him in today's top 5, but potentially replace our first 3 entrants. While he's reserved for an honorable mention, it's time to stop downplaying the character and realizing that he's a monster of his own. Although the likes of GT Goku, Trunks, S. Broly, and others were considered for this video for their popularity, and rightfully so, if we were truly ready for this conversation, understanding Krillin's emergence within this meta would be no laughing matter. Now, going into our top 2, it's important to remember that both of these characters give your playstyle a comparable edge when it's down to the wire. Yet only one can emerge victorious, so after extensive research and community feedback, we're ready to crown a winner. Let's begin by talking about our runner-up. Number 2, Z Broly. Z Broly has a very strong argument for being the best in the game, so let's break down his pros and cons. In the case of this Titan, there's hardly an area he doesn't excel in: zoning, grappling, neutral control. He has it all. On top of having the highest priority Ki Blast in fighters, only losing out to a few situational characters and beam priority projectiles, he can challenge the opponent with not only his excellent Eraser Blow, but the armor that comes paired with the move. Speaking of armor, there's hardly ever a circumstance where Z Broly will have to hold your pressure, as he can either challenge or vanish with his quarter circle forward special, or any one of his absurd normals and specials that boast insane amount of protection. On top of his excellent corner carry and by the books BMBs, he's a dream character in terms of ease of use. Yet the only drawback of Z Broly is his less than average damage without assist. Luckily, as an anchor and with sparking plus limit break, this isn't a concern, as any one of his moves paired with super can drain a quick 50% of your life bar. On top of his already amazing stagger pressure and the ominous threat of his command grab, he can also ignore your zoning with one of the best shields in the game. Additionally, if you plan on avoiding this character by taking to the skies, be prepared to lose your air privileges when faced against potentially the best anti-air this game has to offer with Z Broly's jumping 214H. While the arguments for Z Broly's placement as the king of anchors are numerous, he suffers from one minor flaw: his inability to convert from stray hits without using Vanish. Although the damage he can deliver from his optimal routes is truly demonstrative, this often grants his opponents one final lease on life to attempt their comeback. And while their efforts may be futile in the face of the legendary Super Saiyan, particularly considering once Broly gets in on them, it's truly lights out. It's enough to give his competitor the slightest edge when considering the best in the game. And number 1, Base Goku. Base Goku clutches this spot due to his fundamental design. At his core, his mechanics benefit from Base Goku being the last man on your team, the obvious reasoning being his Kaioken Super, not only due to its ability to access a level 2 extension if one member of your squad remains, but its destructive metamorphosis into a 7-string combo behemoth when left as a sole survivor. When considering supers, Limit Break gives Base Goku access to potentially the easiest 100% combo in the game when paired with a level 3 charge on his handheld Genki Dama and a swift 2M starter while in Spark. Further, Base Goku's down medium boasts considerable range that makes him one of his premier poking tools, and considering his unskilled damage and its ability to cancel into the rest of his combo string, it mirrors the glory days of SSJ Goku in Season 2. His approach to neutral, while honest, can't be understated, as he can jail his opponent's full screen post-vanish thanks to Kamehameha, which can be angled appropriately for maximum screen control. Additionally, this character just spits damage. Even without sparking, when considering adding Base Goku to your squad, his ability to bleed your opponent's life bar dry is comparable to few among the roster. While his command grab may lose to Z Broly in the armor departments and the frame data wars, it's still a considerably powerful and often overlooked addition to Base Goku's arsenal. And when paired with his amazing Whip Punter's Core Circle 4 tool, the movement this character offers your game plan is both respectable and at times rather cheap. While he is considered an honest character by some, those in the know can abuse his tools to access a variety of frame traps, pokes, and nuances that will have no trouble being converted into full combo strings for maximum results. In the assist department, he shines even further, his A assist causing a wall bounce for easy extensions, his Kamehameha C assist being a coveted addition to his moveset, and the crown jewel, in my humble opinion, the B assist. Not only does this move grant your team a full bar of meter thanks to Season 3.5 buffs each time it's used, but it guarantees Base Goku a fully charged Spirit Bomb extension as soon as he enters the battlefield if used frequently throughout the match. With this assist, he becomes not only a tectonic bomb, but a true battery for your squad that can empower more meter-hungry characters like Z Broly, Majin Buu, Kefla, and the like. And while he does suffer from having to hold his opponent's pressure in the corner, he's only one touch away from draining your opponent down 70% from a well-timed challenge, making his comeback factor unparalleled in skilled hands. This character has it all, and although the argument is there for Z Broly to take his spot, in the eyes of the channel and many enthusiasts around the world, he's the best anchor in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And that's our list. My dudes, this was an incredibly tight race, particularly for the final 2 spots. And if I missed a character that you firmly believe should be considered top 5, let me know in the comments down below. We'll hash it out and grow as a community. If you enjoyed this video essay and you have an idea you think might make a great video, let me know in the comments down below. And I've been the Dr. Blue. Thank you so much for the recent support on the channel. It truly means the world. We are vastly approaching 8K, and I couldn't be more thrilled. While you're here, consider liking and subscribing to join the community. And remember, you're incredible. That's all I got. So yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.